Good morning. It's Harvey Jackson. Just going to go through a few things, USDA report and our harvest update and a little wee bit of what's going on in South America as well. Uh, of note here for us would be this stocks report. It's right in the middle of the range of the trade expectations, so it really didn't do anything for wheat. Didn't give us any support or didn't affect the market hardly at all. On the corn and soybeans, so corn actually ended up trading uh, uh, decently up, and that one actually had a fair bit of support in the market. And in the here's a quarterly grain stocks, and Karen Braun is actually pointing out that there's 44.3 as of September 1st. The corn stocks were left on farm, which is significant. Crop progress report. Harvested is probably the numbers that we want to pay attention to for the corn and soybeans. So we're advancing on now. It came out late yesterday. And the planting pace is actually right where it's expected as well on the red winter wheat. Now, it's just how many acres you're going to get in would be the next question, as there's some dryness over there. So here's the Alberta report, and this is old data, so we'll assume that there's still some that actually happened over some of these this last week or so. But I do want to point out this, and then there's another point to make that there's estimated that it's minus 0.9 bushels to the acre lower, 2.1 on barley, and wheat in the province is only a third of a bushel lower as well. But something to keep note of as we see these trends getting pressured. Here's your Saskatchewan data as of last week. 55% combined on canola, and all the other crops are at more advanced as well. Here's your data for last week as well for Manitoba at 55, and very variable yields, but again, Manitoba only makes up like 10 or 3 to 3.5 million of the 22 in Western Canada. So, it's not as significant, but if yields are holding on or trending down, the other two were mentioned earlier, Alberta and Saskatchewan, of course. So let's just have a quick look at the weather. Of significance here would be you're seeing up to 16 to 20 inches of rainfall from Hurricane Helen, and of course there's some cotton grown in those areas, and so that's delaying harvest. But you can see that there's a bit of a window here for harvest to progress, and I didn't. I think on Friday I did show the soil moisture map, but a lot of that soil moisture would be taken up, and especially in those dry soils. So here's the extended forecast going all the way out to the 15th, and you can see that there is starting to be some rainfall showing up in these areas in that timeline. Exactly when it's going to show up is the next question, but you can see that this is the major growing area right there, and of the soybean production area for the first harvest. I stole this from Eric Snodgrass, but here you can see where the planting pace is as of just a couple of days ago. And if they do get rain, and you can see the timeline for planting is quite large, but even if you delay a little wee bit, there's a very good chance you can stay in this window, even though you're very close to zero. The planting pace will happen as soon as the moisture shows up. So if those uh, weather forecasts that's been kind of kicked the can down the road for a while do change, we'll get some planting progress in there pretty quick. But the other thing I do want to make sure you understand too is it's all the way out until November, that the ideal timing. Here's accumulated rainfall for the Argentina region, and you can see that there's a fair bit of rain in these areas. But and what I'm showing here is more the wheat production because that's uh, more significant for us to probably pay attention to. Here's a story that got pulled here. Russian export prices rose last week, and of note, they're having ICAR is pointing to lower production and slower planting for this upcoming year as well, and that's putting some pressure on even Russia to move up their prices. So that's a positive sign for us. Oilseeds, let's go through this. Canola trading almost flat after the absence of not trading yesterday. European rapeseed is up 6.75 to $6. Soybean oil is down, but it was traded up quite a bit yesterday. Palm is just flat. Crude oil is down another $0.50, and soybeans down 5 to 6 cents, and then all the wheats are trading currently up, and Canadian dollar basically flat at 74.09. So support, it does seem to be in this market, and of course a day of no trade, but and trading right at this 38.2 retracement value. So we need to hold this and maybe keep trading above it, and we'll see that all the oil seeds actually have the 38.2 as a possible story. So here, 38.2 for your canola in the longer term, and rapeseed right at this market, but it's actually currently above, which is great to see. Well, a little bit of support, you probably start drawing in a channel here, which I didn't do. European rapeseed values in Canadian dollars minus canola, and it's currently 110. Soybean oil above the 38.2 retracement, but below the past trend line. Palm oil trading up a little wee bit, but this value up here is very likely a number that needs to be held. Soybeans in a current channel, trading sideways here, and need to stay in this channel and trade above those moving averages, but not currently above the 38.2 retracement value. Crude oil, it actually is below the 23.2, so there's a good chance that it could actually retrace all the way back to values that we've seen made at the beginning of September. Canadian dollar, and it almost looks like we're making higher highs and higher lows, but I would like to see this fail. Of course, that would actually help our price of canola a little bit, but the strength is not helping us. But the weaker U.S. dollar in a trading currency should be helping some of these other products as well. But the problem with it is when you look at wheat, especially. Uh, it's not as prevalent as well. But here's a channel for corn. It looks like we're trading in this channel and continue to trade in this channel, but not above the 38.2 retracement or the 100-day moving average. Wheat is just basically trading sideways. And you can see that with all the charts, basically just trading sideways. Next report would be of significance is your October 11th crop production report, and they'll be using this data from the past USDA numbers. We'll chat later.